I keep telling in every video of mine that my investors teach me. Now, I can't believe I almost missed out one of the most prime locations, District 1. But one of my investors from Australia called me and said, Zohaib, when I came to Dubai, I lived in two places. One was Jumeirah Islands, and the other place was District 1. Now, District 1, he felt like everyone, all of his neighbors were billionaires, and he's like, that's exactly where, if ever I'd like to live in Dubai, District 1 would be the place I'd love to live. Clearly because of that. So that's Burj Khalifa right there. So I will explain the master plan a bit. It's a bit of security issues in the Nakheel office, but I will explain the master plan over there. So District 1 by Nakheel, Maidan and Nakheel. We can see the Maidan Hotel right there. So I'll show that to you. You'll probably see that in the master plan as well. So this is Mohammed bin Rashid City. We're right opposite downtown Dubai. Okay, I'll show you the map. Over there, I can see Azizi Riviera, and in front of Azizi Riviera is Shobha Heartland. But this video is primarily, we're going to focus majorly on villas. Towards the end of the video, we're going to compare all the villa communities we have seen, all the best investment opportunities. But quickly, a quick brief on Mohammed bin Rashid City. Mohammed bin Rashid comprises of, yes, primarily the most famous ones are, let's say, District 1 and District 1 West, the launch is coming up next week. The possibility of getting that house is very, very slim because there are 220 houses coming up in this launch and we don't know how many EOIs already submitted because, again, prime location. Now, this is one of the aspects I wanted to analyze with you. I'll be giving you a checkbox in this video where how do you analyze a good villa investment. Now, some projects, when you go, like for example, if you went to an Emaar Farm Gardens or even a Nakheel District 1 West, the product sells out 100% on day one. Whereas there are some products, let's say an Expo Valley, I'm giving an example. Why doesn't it sell, or a Ketura Reserve? It takes time to sell the stock, right? So what is the difference? So we're going to analyze that. By the end of the video, we're going to make a very detailed Excel sheet. Now, quickly on Mohammed bin Rashid City. So we have District 1, District 1 West, where you have opportunity to invest. Why it's an amazing investment? Because Nakheel is launching the 4-beds around 10 million. Currently, the price of a 4-bed villa over here is anywhere from 20 million dirhams. So it's almost like a no-brainer investment. So products like Acres, Farm Gardens, District 1, these are no-brainer investments where you're 100%. There are some investments where you're rolling a dice. Right next to us, we have Ketura Reserve by MAG. Behind us in District 11, we have Opal Gardens. And in District 11, we have Nadal Shiba. A bit before District 11, we have Nadal Shiba Gardens. There's a patch over there. I'll show you the patch. And at the end, quite after Nadal Shiba Gardens is where we have Sanctuary Falls by Ellington. So we're going to have all of these in an Excel sheet. We'll understand the numbers, we'll understand the pros and cons, and that's about it. Let's do some analysis because this is the only way we'll understand what is a good investment, which location you would like to stay. Let's understand the pros and cons and then take an informed decision. Mohammed bin Rashid City. Now, there is only one city which has the name of the ruler himself. So this is Mohammed bin Rashid City. So this is District 1. Now, I got to know, I'll speak exactly why I came here today. But Mohammed bin Rashid City covers a few important locations. We're going to discuss about Ketura Reserve by MAG, District 1 West, which is probably the next launch. We'll discuss about Opal Gardens, where it is coming in Mohammed bin Rashid City, Nadal Shiba Gardens, Sanctuary Falls by Ellington. So all of this falls under this MBR City flag. I'll need to explain all the locations to you. Let's understand. Villas are a very important investment product, villas and townhouses, because you can be 100% assured if you invest in a good villa community in Dubai, you will make phenomenal profits. I mean, some of the best profits, like people who invested in Golf Grove. In Golf Grove, The price was around 6.57 million. Today it's around 16 million. Al Barari, again, same story. People invested around 7 million. Today 15 to 22 million is the span. District 1, people invested around between 8 and 10 million. But look at the community. It's just so beautiful, right? So that is why it's extremely important. Like for example, I saw a product in District 11 where the house didn't have the right built up, and it was being a new launch. I don't want to give a specific name, but it was priced at 13.5 million dirhams just because it was branded by Lamborghini. Now this is why an informed decision is so important, where you assess. Now I have to go to my office and do this Herculean task of of putting all of these into an Excel. We understand the built-up areas, understand the plot size, understand the amenities, understand the pros and cons. But today I'm going to do something a little different, a specific checkbox for your villa investment. Let's go to my office. So this is probably going to be your most important video when it comes to investment or buying for yourself a house in Dubai. So you've observed that the last few days I've been traveling all over Dubai, right? I've shown you just today I showed you District 1. We're going to explain that. District 1, Dubai Hills, Acres, Oasis, Expo Valley, the Valley, how we're going to connect all of it. It's going to make sense. I'm going to draw a map and I'm going to connect all of these. But before that, I want to explain a few points that are extremely important before investment. So I'll say I'm preparing a report on this, but you must understand the thought process, right? So product, supply, demand, design, master plan, client, demographic. So these are your most important points before investment in a villa. Now I'll give you an example. Rivana, okay? Now Rivana, when I'm saying Rivana, it's Nima, it's farm gardens, okay? Let's say in farm gardens, okay? Something that's coming up, okay? Farm gardens. The supply of farm gardens, there are 48 units, okay? 48 units coming into the market. Demand, it's going to get sold out 100% on day one. Now, stay with me, guys. When I say it's being sold out 100% on day one, we're coming to products that don't get sold out on day one. This is extremely important. It's something I learned from, in fact, recently. You know, I was with this investor from the US. We went to every developer and we asked them this question: how much stock is left? You know, and then these factors intrigue me. Design is so critical. Now I'll give you exactly what design means. Arabian Ranches 3, okay? So I'm going to combine two things, okay? Design and master plan. Now master plan is which stage of the master plan are you investing in? Which stage of the master plan? In Dubai, anywhere in the world, if you're investing in the first stage of the master plan, you're going to make money. Anytime later, so I'll explain how this works. So Arabian Ranches 3, I think the first cluster that launched was Sun. It kept going. There were constant launches. Bliss came in between. The only thing different was probably the club villas, Kaya. But it kept launching. The last launch was Anya and May. Now, Sun launched at close to, let's keep it at 1.5 million. I know some people got it at 1.35, some people got it at 1.65. I'm talking about a 3-bed, but let's keep the median as 1.5. Anya and May, people bought towards the 2.5 mark for the same product, right? Exact same product. Now, the problem was the design. Now, I'm not saying these people won't make profit, but these people made their profit, you know. They're now selling it close to 2.5 million. They made their profit. Now, by the time it reaches the cycle towards Anya, that's when they get to make their profit towards the 2026 mark. Why? Because in a cluster, Emar launches normally close to 350 to 400 villas, in a cluster. Now, the only difference between, let's say, Arabian Ranches 3 and Valley, over here, most of these designs, Sun, May, Anya, Eden, Elora, these are in Valley, okay? Same design. Now, if you don't have a different design, Farm Gardens looks different. Shamsa, it's very different. Now, the problem is with when you go enter a community like, let's say, Damak Lagoons, you have 8,000 similar looking houses. That's when the number goes high. So supply. Now we're getting there. So Farm Gardens supply 48, demand 100%. Now demand we will understand. I'm going to come to some products which did not get sold out on the first day or the second day. It takes a few months to sell out stock. Now question is, if they cannot sell it, if a developer whose only job is selling their stock, if they cannot sell it, how can I sell it? So it's very important to understand the demand. Design, Farm Gardens, if you look at the product, very, very unique design. Farmhouses, I haven't, now if I have to compare, oh, I missed a point over here. Find a competition for Farm Gardens. My competition would be Acres. Acres is a very similar design. Acres, who else do I compete with? Dubai Hills, Fairways Vistas, okay. Fairways looks very similar. Okay, so this is off plan. If I don't want to compare it with an off plan, if I want to compare it with a ready product, Fairways. So I've made a report where I've put a link for this, so you will see the exact price right now. So if I tell you Farm Gardens is priced at 6.5 million and a ready product of it's priced at 16 to 22 million, I'm going to give you these links. You should go to the website, see the prices, so you understand. So that is, and then of course you understand your developer. So Farm Gardens, which stage are we at the master plan? So if you try to understand Valley, now I'm going to get into a map as well. So if you, right now, only this stage, okay? These, one side are the lower end villas and one side is Farm Gardens. Farm Gardens phase 1 is released, Farm Gardens phase 2 is going to come over here. So we are still at an early stage. Why? There is a phase 2, there is a phase 3, and then here comes in your Damak Hills 2. We go, if we still it connects to Damak Hills 2, we have 2 more phases coming. So we still have room for the price to increase, and the product has, I'm going to explain this location in the video itself, how the whole of Dubai is being connected. I'm going to explain that in a video. Now going back, so we're still at an okay phase when it comes to the master plan. Now, if I look at another product, let's say Acres by Miras. Now the supply, it was the 1,200 independent villas. So when you tell me independent villas, for me design is a tick, because I'm like, it's a unique product. I've not seen a community with only independent villas. Nowadays, everyone's doing townhouses, right? But the kind of demographic that's coming to Dubai, they are into luxury. So it's going to be a challenge. Demand, I would rate it at 80%. Why? Because 80% of the stock got sold. They have about 20% inventory left. It did not sell out on the first day. Why didn't it sell out? Miras is a very boutique developer. Who is Miras? Miras are behind Blue Water Island, City Walk, MJL, Madinat Jumeirah Living, Port de la Mer, Nadal Shiba Gardens. Very, very boutique developer. None of their products have failed. Every product has been able to manage to maintain a niche. So are we confident on the product? Yes, 100%. I know it's going to be one of the best villa communities in Dubai, 100%. Some of the more expensive villas, or the villas towards the end, that towards facing the road, that stock is left in Miras. So you have to be careful about choosing the unit. See, when I get an investor, so today I had an investor from Italy saying, hey, I want to buy a 4-bed in Miras. I need to see the master plan, I need to see the location of the villa, I need to make sure it's near the main central park. So you need to be careful, because when it's very tricky when you have 20% inventory or stock left in the inventory,
the developer's agent will try to push any stock towards you. We need to conduct our due diligence and ensure that we get the right stock. You just cannot buy anything. I mean, you cannot buy something in A cluster, which is, so this is the park, this is the first cluster. No, we need to buy somewhere around the central park. So that was cluster I, cluster J, someone in those clusters close to the park. We need to make a very sensible investment, or this is where we lose money. So design is which stage we're probably in the first phase, right? So this is good. Sorry, over here we are on the first phase, which is good. There's another phase being launched. These are the 5 and 6 bed villas, the bigger ones. So until the stock gets sold, they're not going to get in the next phase, and the prices will increase by at least 5 to 10%. So there will be an increase in price. So my investors over here, we're already in a win situation. Demographic. Oh, I missed demographic with farm gardens. What is demographic? Who is going to live in your community? Now, this is extremely important because there are some developers, okay, extremely aggressive marketing. If you're going to see some developers, they're going to see them a lot, okay? Like, let's say your Danube, Demac, Shoba, they're going to be in your face. I mean, if you by mistake type investment in Dubai, you will get their ads. So they're extremely aggressive in marketing. But you're not going to find the same thing with an Emar, a Miras, a Nakhil. The other day I was doing this project of DR. They had a project in Al Furjan. I've never seen a. Have you seen a DR ad? No, you're not going to see a DR ad. But they're sold out. Why? Because the local population knows the product. The investors who have lived here, they understand the product. So the demographic, one. Now, for example, there are some Indian developers or some Pakistani developers in Dubai. Yes, Indians form 60% of the investors. There are some very, very rich Indians across the world, also in Dubai. So some of these developers really target India as a market. So if you have a demographic of 60 to 80% of Indians in a building, it's not the ideal scenario. You need to have a mixed demographic. And that is one point. So that is nationality based. Second, if there are 80% investors in your building, means you'll have a lot of available units for sale, right? So a healthy demographic is you need a local population or people who are end users who are going to buy that property to live themselves, because you don't want a community or a building with empty balconies. Now, if you look at that building over there, I'm looking at, now this is Dubai Hills, right? I'm going to try and find an empty apartment. I don't even know. I mean, I can see a dryer over there. So it's probably this one apartment that I think that's empty. That'll be a potential Airbnb. Most maybe in there about, see this over here. I can see 20% would be Airbnbs. 80% are end users themselves. And that's that's a healthy demographic. What does that mean? There will be limited supply in the market. If I'm investing in a product where there are 8,000 townhouses and 80% are investors, you're going to be in a very, very horrible situation, because one person or a few people are going to start advertising at a lower price and you start losing your investment value. Demographic, that is, yes, what nationality is like the predominant. Yes, it has to be a nice mix. Yes, you need Europeans, you need Americans, Canadians, Asians, all of them, and that's what everyone comes in Dubai for the demographic. What is the biggest seller when you go to schools? Oh, my school has over 200 nationalities. That is the seller. So nationality, and two is your investor versus end user ratio. It's extremely important. You need to understand who are your investors, and you need to think it through, the whole process, right? If you are an investor, who am I going to sell it to? You need to understand that demographic, but that's a separate discussion. The video will go too long. So farm gardens, acres, you have let's say Expo. Now Expo, there are two products, okay? So one is Shamsa, Yasmina. There's the third, mansions. I'm not getting into mansions. The mansions, we need to make a separate video. Today we're discussing townhouses and villas. It's a very interesting demographic, because a lot of people from Europe, US, UK, Japan, Australia are looking to find homes in Dubai. Okay, so Shamsa, the supply is around 420. Yasmina, the supply is around 280. The demand, Shamsa was 100%. Smaller ticket size, right? I mean, it's not exactly small. The prices in Shamsa were anywhere from 3.5 to 4.8 million. Yasmina was again at 80%. There's still stock available. Design. Now, this is, see, what I like about Expo is that, okay, I'll come back to design, okay? We're in the first phase. We're in the first phase. Now, if you study, now in this video itself, I'm gonna draw a map for you guys, okay? I'm going to send this Excel as well, but see, all my videos are on your thought process, how you should think, okay? We're in the first phase, there's so much of land available. And if you see, for example, Dubai South is coming up with 18-hole golf course, 18-hole golf course. And they come, Emirates Engineering is coming, repairing aircraft. So much happening, there's so much of space, so much of land parcels in that area that it has the potential for expansion. But Expo has guaranteed that there will not be another Shamsa, not be another Yasmina. You look at the designs, they are very, very unique. Different, it's not your typical Sun or Anya or Eden or Morocco, you know, it's not the same thing, okay? The design is unique, your demographic, again, very international. It was a very, very international demographic because I had a lot of international buyers investing in Expo because of the payment plan. Now if I look at the demographic, let's say Emar was 80-20, the ratio is 80-20, right? Miras, again, it's 80-20 because, you know, mostly end users, they love this product, you know. So I've explained this earlier as well. I know some Emar consultants who have bought in Miras communities to live for themselves. That's how boutique Miras is. With Expo, I would say that it's 50-50, you know, because there were a lot of investors very excited about the payment plan. It was a 50-50 payment plan. And on handover, you get a 3-year post handover payment plan. So there were a lot of investors, 50% investors, 50% end users, which again, it's decent, but that is the line. 50-50 is the line. Below that, I'd be worried. Competition. Now, competition for Expo, I think Expo is trying to compete against Ferrari. Why Expo is trying to compete against Ferrari? Now, why does Emar? Emar is a brand. So Emar does not need to be desperate to try and sell. It gets sold like that. Miras, the same thing. It does get sold. Aldar is a very big brand. Expo is not a famous brand. Yes, it is being dealt by the government. The CEO of Emirates and the CEO of Expo is the same. It's the chairperson is a minister in UAE, so it's a very, very important government project. But it does not have its own legacy. Same thing, Barari is not a legacy project, right? It's not like an EMA, but it gained value over time. It's a very thick in vegetation, very green community, and over time the prices were initially selling 6.5. Today, if you look at a Barari villa, it's selling anywhere from 15 all the way to 35 million dirhams. So it gained value with time. So that's why I'm comparing it with a Barari.